Hi, everyone. Susan Gerbic from Psychics Explained, fresh from the garden, sanding windows, repainting them. And I have Imogen right here who's sleeping on my table, my desk. So she is just 17 and her health isn't great. Well, and she just wants to be there all the time. And I can't really do much with her because she needs to get her next arthritis shot. And if you touch her too much, then she freaks out, but she still wants to be here. I know you didn't join to hear me talk about my cat, but she is right here and it's going to make it hard for me to type. I want to do some Wikipedia editing tonight live, but it's very difficult to edit Wikipedia when there is a cat almost on your keyboard, as you guys all well know. All right. So I have been negligent in putting out videos a lot lately because I am just been gone so much doing lectures talking about psychic mediums and grief vampires all over the place. The last month I've been gone every weekend. This is the first weekend I've been home. So I thought what I would do is I would pick somebody that we have looked at before, one of the old videos that needs to be done. There's Imogen. She's showing her your little head. She's rubbing herself up against my microphone here. So no, no, So one of the things, one of the things I was interested in is this idea that people did not predict COVID. I mean, millions of people all over the world died. It just devastated education, lots of people's social networks, jobs, health. Their health is still bad. I have a friend that still has long COVID, and on and on and on and on. Yet, no psychic medium warned us, not a single one. And I have documented that in a Skeptical Inquirer article back in 2021. I think I made an article. I went through everybody's website and social media that I could find that was a psychic medium and posted that they not only didn't predict that there was some major disturbance in the force, but they also did not, they planned their events during the time that we were locked down, as well as one psychic planned her vacation and she was stuck in Ireland and had a really hard time getting back whenever everything started to lock down. But I really want to nail this home and make sure that we have covered our bases. So I have slowly but surely been trying to go back through all old videos that I can find of psychics who are giving readings to see and look at what they said during those months prior to the lockdowns we had in 2020. So if you remember correctly, January of 2020, we started to get I know it's been 5 years, right? We started to get this idea that something bad was going to happen. Some niggling kind of thing in our brains that said, something ain't right here. I and Mark Edward had been in Australia and New Zealand in December of 2019, and we got home just before Christmas. And I remember that I'm in California and that there was this ship, this cruise ship, the Diamond, something Diamond, and it had to dock somewhere, and it had people that had COVID, had this disease. We didn't know what it was, this flu-like disease, or we didn't really know what it was. And they had to dock somewhere and let these people, pass. Well, we didn't really know what was going on, right? But they had to have time where they had some quarantining. So the ship, I believe, stopped in, I don't think it was Monterey. I think it might have been San Francisco Bay, but they brought several dozen people to Monterey, which is where I live near Monterey, and they put them up in cabins in the Sillamar, which is not too far from where I am at, where they would be able to be quarantined for a couple of weeks. And I mean, I remember this pretty darn clearly. And we were just kind of like, what the heck is going on here? What I don't get this. What could possibly be happening? And we got no warning or anything, like I said, even after the fact that when we started to see this becoming a thing from any of the psychics. And I think we really need to call them out on that, because we give them such grace, this world of psychic mediumship, these people who supposedly are talking to the dead and possibly being able to predict the future. Even if they don't say they predict the future, as soon as you get them started into a conversation, they're giving you a reading, they start talking about the future. Let me get this keyboard out of the way before, as she's sprawling herself further and further onto my keyboard. So they did not warn us in any way. And that would have been really nice. I mean, if mediumship was possible, that would have been really, really great to know, right? I mean, not even an astrologer, nobody did horoscopes, nothing. I mean, if they gave any kind of warning, it would have been very, very vague. Now, there was something that there was rumor about Sylvia Browne once writing in a book. And I'm going to make myself a little note about that, Sylvia Browne. And I'll do a different video on that, because my good friend, there we go, make myself a note. My very good friend, Ben Radford, had an article about what exactly was going on, but there was a lot of rumor that she had predicted it in some one of her old books. She didn't, but the details are quite interesting of what actually was, what happened, and the phenomenon of people wanting to believe that somebody did predict COVID. All right, so I have done videos on Cheryl Murphy many times. I'm looking at her playlist. I have several videos. She came to my attention because one time I was with a group of people who were attending online a gallery reading that Thomas John, who's the psychic that I've caught many times, but he was one of the psychics in the New York Times article that I wrote. And well, I didn't write, but it was done on me. And the sting operation pizza roll. He's also been Operation Onion Ring. Takes me a minute. I tell you, I've been out working in the yard. Whew. And planting flowers, actually, and doing weeding and all sorts of stuff. So I was attending an event on a gallery reading, and Thomas John was the person who we were supposed to be getting readings from. And about halfway through, all of a sudden, he said, "Okay, and here's Cheryl Murphy." Boom, he's gone. And there's this new medium in front of our face. And we're like, who is this? And we paid for Thomas John, not for whoever this person is. And the next thing we know, we have somebody named Cheryl Murphy who's doing the second half of Thomas John's gallery event. So for an hour with Thomas John, an hour with Cheryl Murphy, and there was nothing, no notice or anything. It was just like he decided at the last minute, Cheryl, can you cover the last hour of my event? And didn't tell anybody. We were all like, what the heck is going on here? So he endorsed her. He said she's wonderful. So, we started looking into it. And I've been following her for a while. I have her, I'm on her email. I'm subscribed to her channel, YouTube channel. And she's really bad. I'm not even sure that you could call it cold reading. She has a very different personality than Thomas John, who supposedly trained her. Obviously didn't train her in his hot reading ways, but she's just like a school marm kind of personality, a librarian, very calm. And now we're going to talk about spiritualism. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day out there. And, she's just that kind of personality. I'm going to show you. So I have done a lot of videos you can find on the channel. She doesn't have a lot of following. Let me see what her, I've done 12 videos. Oh my gosh, 12 videos. But sometimes they're teamed up with other people, that it's Cheryl Murphy and somebody else. And on her channel, let's see. Oh, good Lord. I don't know if I can get to it with a cat here. Let's see. Oh, here it is. It's on a different screen. I've got like 4 huge screens in front of me here. So let's go up here to the top. I know I'm not sharing screen. I don't feel like editing a lot today. I'm just tired, and I just want to spend some time with you guys. Oh, by the way, if you can, please subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you come back more often. Please leave me comments. I'm happy to answer all your questions. And please hit the like button and hit the little bell that lets you know whenever I've uploaded a video. Okay, so Cheryl Murphy has 1.46 subscribers. She has 442 videos, and she's been around since 2010. And not a lot of views. She's at 93,000 views on her channel, and that's not a lot. For example, this channel you're watching this on, Psychics Explained, is been around. Let's just use that for comparison, because this woman's supposedly communicating with the dead. You would think she'd have a lot of followers. You would think. Okay, so that's another thing. Can we just call that out also? Not that having a huge amount of viewers means that you're actually right or anything, but if you were communicating with dead people and really able to really do amazing things with this talent you supposedly have, people would be beating your door down to get to you, right? Not only just the random women who are getting readings from you, but governments and stuff like that would be all over you. Okay, so let's see. So the channel you're watching right now has nearly 300,000 views. That's the one you're watching right now. I have almost 2,000 subscribers, which is, I'm not a huge streamer or anything like that. And I think I started in 2023. Oh Lord, there's so many buttons here to push. And oh, I know you guys are hanging. Yeah, March 2023. So in 2023, 24, 25. So in 2 years, a little over 2 years, I've got almost 300,000 views, and I'm debunking and explaining psychic mediums. I've got almost 2,000 subscribers. She has just a little less subscribers, 1.46, and she has 93,000 views with being on the channel since 2010, having a YouTube channel since 2010. So that doesn't say with a lot of confidence that she's doing really well predicting anything. Though, I have, as I said, I've done a video on her that was from January 2020 to see if she said anything about psychics, anything psychic about predicting COVID. I mean, we went through it and there was nothing. That was January of 2020. And then I looked at March 2020. Poor kitten. I'm telling you, she's like an 80-year-old woman, I guess. Trying to get to my keyboard. I know you guys are great out there. You're pardoning me for this. Okay. So March 2020, I also looked to see if she had said anything about her predicting the pandemic, and nothing. So in January, the video is called January 2020 Cheryl Murphy predicted diddly squat. In March, the video, it says, what advice does psychic Cheryl medium have for us? And it was pretty bad. Did she warn us of what was to come? No. So I want to go and look at February. So I did January 2020, March 2020, but I realized I haven't done February 2020. So I think that might be helpful. And I guess I should probably do April, but not this time, not today. So I've not looked at this video. So, maybe there's something in it. Maybe she does give this force of nature that's about to happen, this feeling of dread and economic disaster and people's careers imploding, and just everything in your lifestyle is going to change. Schools are going to close. I mean, I'm not saying she should say, oh, there's going to be this thing called COVID-19 and it is a coronavirus that, I mean, I'm not expecting something like that, but at least devastation worldwide, lasting for years with people in lockdowns and a race to come up with a vaccine to protect people, and millions of people die worldwide. It affects everyone in some way. Even if you didn't take COVID restrictions where you took them seriously and you were protecting yourself, getting vaccinated, wearing masks, staying distance, even if you didn't do that and you were adamant about like, no, I'm not getting the vaccine, I'm not wearing a mask, I'm not standing a distance from somebody, you were also affected because relationships were ruined. People's family still in a lot of cases don't speak to each other. It was just a world of they couldn't go and do the things that they normally would have done, going to restaurants, and their life changed as well, even though they didn't have maybe the world I was living, which was I had my boyfriend who was 12 years older than me, and he had cancer, and we were on full down lockdown here in my home. We were, the cats, him and I, and that was about it. It was pretty tight for a long time until we could get back, and until he could get vaccinated. It was very scary. All right. So let's look at this first thing, which is, and I don't have the date on it, but I pulled it down one day, and it's a testimonial for Cheryl Murphy. And I want to show you that because I think it's quite interesting. If I can get to it, as I say, there's a cat here, and she isn't necessarily letting me be where I need to be, which is why I'm not editing a Wikipedia article right now. Let's see if I can pull this up. And
have you ever questioned?
Okay, let me stop her and put it so I can show it to you easily. So no, I don't have a date on it. It's just a testimonial for Cheryl Murphy. And where'd you guys all go? There it is. In a different screen now. Sorry. So this is a testimonial by a fan of Cheryl Murphy, and we don't know anything about her. It's only 48 seconds long. We know that it's a woman. This is a typical, from all the years I've done of watching these psychic mediums, this is what a typical medium follower, person who believes in mediumship, looks like. So if you're planning a sting, which I do I've got several going, fingers and pies, this is kind of what you're looking for, is this kind of person. Person looks like would be perfect for looking like she would be a typical follower of a psychic medium. I don't think I can see her necklace. It might be a cross, and her age and so on, but she's got a candle or two in the background and nothing else behind her, not a busy thing. Or this is Edgar, by the way. Edgar. It's a typical looks like a believer. And I want you to really understand, this is not the enemy. She is not our enemy. She is not probably unintelligent. She's probably a wonderful human being. Her cats probably love her, and she may be skeptical of lots of things, where has really good healthy skepticism in a lot of parts of her world. But in this one area, she has cats stop sitting on things. She has chosen, probably maybe from need, to believe in psychic mediums, especially Cheryl Murphy, and do a testimonial for her. So let's look at that 48 seconds and move her tail out of the way. And then let's talk about it in a minute. I looked at this probably a year ago, and I have not looked at it since. So I've almost forgotten what it says.
Have you ever questioned if you could connect with your relatives and your relations on the other side? If you have, then I think you want to have an appointment with Cheryl Murphy. Cheryl is an incredibly insightful, loving, gifted human being who has the ability to connect with your relations on the other side. She actually acts as a bridge that makes you feel like your relatives are literally in the room with you, sharing information that there's no way that she could have known. I know it's really helped me a lot, and I've had a lot more peace and ease and joy as a result of working with her, and knowing that that connection is still there, and it totally transcends time and space, and transcends what we normally think. So,
And that's the video ends with her just saying, so, all right. So, um, I'm really interested in your comments. So if you want to pause and respond in the comments below this video and tell me what you really think of that. This, as I said, is a typical person who believes in psychic mediums. And several things stand out to me, besides my cat, who's nearly sleeping on, she so badly wants to be here with me. So what stands out to me is that she says, Cheryl Murphy makes me feel like I'm in contact with my loved ones that have died. And that's interesting because there's no facts. It's just she's saying that she feels that way. And then she also says she feels better. She feels like this has been helpful for her to know that she's feel like she's in contact with her dead family members. And I'm not saying she's lying. She may feel better. What is it that Banachek always says? He says I could give cocaine to to a person who is addicted to cocaine, and they're going to feel a lot better, but it doesn't mean it's good for them. But she's an adult. She's an adult, and she can believe what she wants. If this is her jam and she really gets something out of it, all right, go for it, lady. I'm a scientific skeptic, and I have problems with people who prey, PREY, on others' grief, and vulnerabilities. And it's not about the money. It's about the taking their memories and changing them up to be something else. If somebody makes a claim, like Cheryl Murphy is making a claim that she can communicate with the dead, I want to look at that claim. So this woman, free to believe whatever you want to believe. If you feel like you've gotten comfort out of somebody making up crap about your dead loved ones and that makes you feel good, more power to you, lady. I think it's a waste of time, but then there's a lot of things I think are a waste of time that people do. And there's probably a lot of things that people look at my life and say, seriously, Susan, you went and bought more plants to put in a garden that already has a lot of plants? Really, Susan? That's a waste of time. You're crawling around on the garden floor, pulling up weeds that in a few weeks are going to be right back there. That's a waste of time. So, yeah, I get it. But this is a claim that's being made, is that Cheryl Murphy communicates with the dead and knows things that there's no way anybody else could know. And if you've been following my channel and my articles for Skeptical Inquirer for a while, you will understand what I say when I say that it is not about the medium's work, it's about the sitter doing the work. The motivated sitter is the person who is making this happen. The psychic medium is out there throwing out Barnum statements, hot reading, cold reading, wordplay, just speaking really fast or long pauses like Tyler Henry does so that you will fill in the information. All that thing the psychic medium does, and we pick it apart here on this channel, Psychics Explain, but you have to have the sitter that is going to go along with it. That's what's that and the hokey pokey is what it's all about, right? It's the sitter. So if I can find my mouse over here, let me get rid of that. And we're going to look at Cheryl Murphy's February. I had it up and it's gone now. February 2020 I can only scroll so many at a time because there's somebody sleeping on my mouse pad here. All right. So we've looked at January 5th, 2020, and we've looked at March 15, 2020. I think I might have started April 2020, but I can see I started it, but I didn't get very far. So what we're going to look at right now is February 16th, 2020. It is 151 views. So it's 48 minutes long. I'm going to fast forward through a lot of it because she does a lot of prayer. She does a lot of what's it called? Inductions to get people inducted in it. And she like has people say where they're from. And she calls it the chat box. I find that so funny. The chat box says, chat, CHAT. So I'm going to show you the very basic beginning where she's kind of setting it all up, what she's going to do. And then let's go to the readings and let's take a look at that. And I'll stop after each reading. So I mean, it'll go long because that's just my nature. And thank you guys for putting up with me and watching these with me. Somebody's got to do it. Seriously, somebody's got to watch these things. Okay, so let me make this large screen. And you tell me, does she seem like the type of person that knowingly knows that she is faking and she's just making up nonsense? Do you think she believes that she's really in contact with the dead? I mean, I don't know. I can't get into these people's heads because I'm not psychic. Neither are they. But it's fascinating. If she was trained by Thomas John, and Thomas John did not train her to do the stuff he does, which is straight up hot reading. I don't think that this woman, if she knew that Thomas John was hot reading and all the things he's doing to his clientele, that he's just his clientele is imploding. I mean, his whole business model is gone because people are signing up for readings from him and he's not getting the readings. Not years later, he's still not giving the readings to these people, even though they complain and complain and complain and complain and try to get their money back. And they're all over social media complaining. He's still not doing it. Isn't that amazing? I think that's amazing. Because all he has to do is just give them a reading. It can't be that hard. Or stop selling readings and then catch up. But he's still doing readings. It's fascinating. Something wrong with that boy. Anyway, I don't think that she would go for it. If she knew that Thomas John was doing what he's doing, I don't think she would put up with it. She would break ties, or at least quietly break ties, because she knows that he would probably hurt her, rebel, somehow against her. But I've had stuff out on Thomas John for 6 years, 7 years, explaining exactly what he's doing. How could she be completely not looking at it, not have looked at anything that I've written or the videos? And other people have come along after me and done the same. She must have been told, and she's willfully ignoring it because I don't think she'd put up with it. That's my opinion. You guys might have a different opinion. I'd like to hear your opinions. So let's take a look at the beginning. Oops, I gotta make sure I've hit the yeah, I did share optimize the video. I don't usually get takedown notices from her, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so let's look at the beginning and then we'll pause.
So everyone, welcome to tonight's Healing Prayer Circle. My name is Cheryl Murphy. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Tonight is February 16th, 2020. I want to welcome all of you to our Healing Prayer Circle and all of the new people that have joined. If I could just read out some names really quickly and where you're from, because you're from all over the world. We have Beverly, Veronica, Katie, Elizabeth, Pamela, Lauren from Florida, New York, North Carolina, India. We have Parul from India. So namaste, Parul. I just met her on my recent visit out there to India. We have Deborah, Mary. Thank you. There's many, many more. But thank you so much for joining tonight's Healing Prayer Circle. If you're new to the prayer circle, we want to welcome you. And if you've been here before, we say welcome back. We always like to begin our prayer circle by opening the circle up. So let me just tell you, tonight's format is really just going to be about 40 or 45 minutes. I do believe in the concentrated energy and effort of all of us together. And I do like to open the circle up with a small meditation, prayer, and then I do like to close the circle at the end. So if you don't mind just hanging out with us until the end, it really does matter as far as really appreciating and building the energy during our time together. If you wouldn't mind, everyone, could you guys just let your eyes float closed? And we're going to open the circle, all right? So if you don't mind closing your eyes.
Okay. So let's just be clear. If this was a prayer circle and this is for healing, whatever she considers healing, then I would not be doing this video. I would not be interested in her. There would be absolutely nothing for me to say. Faith is off the table. If you have faith in something, then that's whatever. It's not for me to just to shut you down. But what is going on is she's going to go into mediumship readings. Now I know all this this energy. My dear friend Kenny Biddle, he can't. He just freaks out. Somebody says energy and they use it wrong like that. So, anytime that somebody is making these paranormal claims, okay, pick your battles, Susan. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to put your big nose into everything. So let it go. But when she gets into reading people's as if she's communicating with their dead loved ones, that's my wheelhouse, okay? And that's free game. So she's doing a 48-minute, the whole show is 48 minutes. Or 48 minutes. And a large portion of this, I believe, is going to be well, not a large portion, but let me see here a second. Looks like somebody comes on. Okay. Now I'm not blurring these people's faces. I'm not getting rid of the audio, not just because I'm lazy and I'm tired and it's been a while since it's come out with a video. No, not just that, but because they are on her YouTube channel and she doesn't block their faces and she doesn't hide their information. It's public. So now if I had gone into the reading and paid for a reading and I'm in the gallery reading with all these other women and there's something going on, where they have the feeling that they're probably in a private space, then I'm going to block their face. I'm going to cover up so you can't tell who they are. But she's let this be public, so obviously they must be okay with it. So let's see if I can find where it starts. I don't know how far I'm going to get into this. Let's see.
Gently having it.
Okay, so she's still praying.
For group prayer.
Still praying.
And so her name is Kelley Eckhardt, and she is a psychic medium. She's an evidential.
Oh, Kelley.
Because I just want to begin tonight by welcoming a special guest.
They have a special guest now. Kelley Eckhardt. We've done videos on Kelley Eckhardt before as well. So I think we're about to see her. So let's see what's going on with Kelley Eckhardt. Fascinating. Oh, this will be what a treat. This is Kelley that's here.
Because I just want to begin tonight by welcoming a special guest I have this evening. Her name is Kelley Eckhardt, and she is a psychic medium. She's an evidential medium. We're very lucky in California that she lives here because we can see her in person when we want. But she does do private readings, I know, over the phone and Skype and Zoom. She also does group readings and events. And I want to welcome Kelley. If I can, she'll be also on the screen. So hi, Kelley.
Hi. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you, Cheryl. This is such a beautiful thing that you're doing.
Um,
And
yeah.
go
Thank
ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, Kelley, thank you so much for being with us. I know that you know, you have a family, and we so appreciate your time. But you're so valued, and I just want to share with everyone that Kelley is the real deal as far as a medium goes, or a psychic, or an intuitive. She's a sensitive, and I wanted to ask Kelley how you got started as a medium, or how did you even know that you know, were going to follow this route in life, or when did it come to you?
So I've always had the gift since I was a child. And I think I spent most of my life trying to ignore it, or avoid it, or act like it didn't exist. But it, you know, it just never goes away. And so I have 3 children, and after my 3rd child, he started talking about my dad, who had died 6 years before he was born, and he just knew so many things that he should never have known. And he was talking about a lot of people that were passed. So I decided to start learning about my gifts so that I could help him. And he's going to be 13 in a week. So it's been a nice journey with this child. He's my youngest, and I always say that the universe gives us what we need, and he's here to help me, and I'm here to help him.
That's a beautiful way to begin mediumship, Kelley. And just to let everyone know, Kelley and I, not only have we done events before in the past with our live mediumship demonstrations, we have another one coming up. So I always, you know, whenever Kelley is available, I am always excited to be able to work with her. She's such a beautiful medium too. And I just want to share with everyone that, you know, there may be a lot of mediums out there, but what we need is good mediums. And Kelley is a good medium. You know why? Because she's a good person, and she strives for that every day. You do, Kelley. And I just want to tell people that, you know, you have a beautiful family, and, you know, we all have our trials and that in life, of course. But I wanted to tell people about you, because I know you're very good connecting people with their children who have passed away, or even with animals. But really, going back to children, you just really seem to have a gift or something special about you with connecting with children that have crossed over. And I thought maybe people on the call might need your help. So can you tell us
Thank you.
more about that, or how you got started? Or
Yes. So in 2016, my oldest son, he was 20, passed away. And it was quite a shock. It was Mother's Day weekend. So ever since he passed away, I have such a strong connection with him still. And he brings me, I believe, he brings me all these children and their families. So I would say 75% of my clients are parents that have lost a child. And they just have so much in common with my own son. So it's quite interesting the way spirit works. They are quite intelligent in the way they do that. And I always say that this work, it was a good thing I was a medium before I lost him, because it really helped me understand that he's maybe left the physical body, but he's still with me here. He's just here in a different way. And the relationship I have with him is very similar to when he was alive, because I still talk to him and I feel like he answers me. So, you know, that part is here. I feel him around me a lot, and I'm just so blessed about that. But in the same right, I think that my mediumship has helped me with my own grief, because helping other people helps me with my grief. So I feel very blessed to have that. Yes.
And thank you, and I'm going to share your website just as you're talking, because it's amazing how much Kelley gives of her time and energy to help people in the grieving process. Kelley, I just wanted to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And also, you know, the question about your son, because for people who have recently lost a spouse, or a parent, or, you know, a sibling, you know, any loved one, of course, one of the questions tonight that I was going to read is from one of our group members, who asked about, where do we go? What do you think happens? Like, I mean, do the souls remember? Like, here's the question. I'll just read you the question. We'll just start there. If souls are energy and return to the physical world to learn lessons, you know, do you think they reincarnate, or do you think, I mean, what do you think about all of that? You know, where do you think our souls go? Do you think they remember the lives they once lived? Are they okay in heaven? Do we call it heaven? You know?
You want me to answer, Cheryl?
Yeah, I know it's a loaded question, but
Well,
whatever you want to answer of that is great.
I can tell everybody I do remember being in the spirit world for 13 years. I remember my past life. I was a nurse in the 50s, and I clearly remember how I died and immediately being in the spirit world, watching my mother give birth to my brother, who she put up for adoption. And I believe I met all my siblings in the spirit world. I was the last of her children to be born, the sixth one. And I remember just how beautiful it is there. And I don't know that everybody remembers, but I think a lot of people remember past lives. I think that I came here with a plan. I know that I have these 5 beautiful angel guides, or whatever we want to call them, that I remember in the spirit world. And I also remember them as an infant and a child, always there to guide me. And I felt protected always. So I do believe there's a lot of lessons to be learned here in the physical world, and that is why we come here. I also believe that we have contracts that we kind of set up before we're born. I can't remember, is that the whole question?
Yeah, that was that was amazing, because I got chills as you were talking, Kelley, because it's like, well, what do you call that? Do you call it a pre-birth experience, right? We don't call it a near death, because it didn't happen when you were living in the physical. Yeah. We call it something that happened before it was like a pre-death. A pre-birth experience.
I don't know what you call it either.
Well, we have to name it something. That's going to be our job. We're going to name that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm writing about it. One day I hope to write a book, but I don't know how to put it all into words yet.
Well, I hope you write that book, because because I think there probably might be more people like you out there that.
I think so.
You think so?
I've met a couple that have similar. Yeah, and I think that there is more.
Yeah, that maybe they don't think much of it, or they think they're isolated and they're the only ones that can actually remember before they came into this lifetime. Yeah. So you were a nurse in the 50s, Kelley. Do you remember any other past lives, or do you have any other?
I remember 2 other past lives from a long time ago. One, I was in an Indian tribe, and I believe I was the medicine woman. And then the other one, I don't exactly know what time it was, but I feel like, it was a long time ago as well. And there was a big fire, and I know I died in the fire. I don't remember who I was exactly, those 2. They weren't as clear as the last life I had.
Okay, so that's a good question. So you died in a fire in a past life that you can remember or regressed back to. So now my question would be, in this lifetime, do you have a fear around fires, or is there something about
I do, and
you stay away from? Yeah.
I've been in 2 fires as well since I was born. The first one at age 2, I was so scared of the fire, of the dark, because there were so many spirits and I didn't understand it. Even though I remembered, it was still scary. And so I took the lampshade off of my bed, and the lamp fell onto my bed. I probably kicked it over and caught my mattress on fire. And the entire mattress burned around me, and my angels picked me up and carried me through the flames. And when the firemen got there, they wanted to know how I got through the fire.
Oh my God.
Because they couldn't understand. Nothing was burnt, nothing was singed. And I just said, oh, it was just my angels. I was almost 3. And then the other fire was my dad fell asleep with a cigarette in his mouth in bed and caught the apartment on fire. And I had a strong connection with my mom telepathically, and she was at work. She worked nights, and she didn't get off work till 6 a.m. But that particular night, I was sending her messages to come home. I was about 5, sitting on the bed. I packed all of our bags because I knew there was going to be a fire. And my mom left work early and came and got us, and we all survived it, even my dad, who fell asleep. So I just think I've been very protected by the angels my whole life.
That takes my breath away, I have to tell you, Kelley. I can just imagine you writing a book. I don't know for anyone else, if you guys want to write in a question for Kelley that you have. We certainly are just amazed by the story, because of angels, when you talked about the angels picking you up and carrying you up, I took my breath away, because I absolutely believe in that, Kelley. And so not only, but you had precognition too, because you knew ahead of time what was happening.
My angels told me everything as a child, so I frequently knew when there was going to be a missing person on the news.
Goodness.
Mostly women that were murdered.
Mm-hmm.
So that was sort of the thing that came to me a lot as a small child, and I would wake my mom up to watch the news and tell her where they were, but I got in trouble for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't encouraged.
Right.
And just they would always tell me about bad things that were going to happen so that I was avoid them. Yeah.
I love that. And so now here we are, and so now like everyone listening to your story, Kelley, can understand that, developing your intuition would be good for them just on a personal level. I mean, it's good just on a personal level, right? Just to understand our own selves, or our own intuition, right?
I believe that we're all protected by, this angelic realm, guides, whatever you want to call it. I believe that we all have a connection, and for us to tap into that and to really take advantage of that in our life, it can only enhance our life.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing thing to have that trust in yourself, knowing that you're following your guidance, not logic necessarily, because sometimes they're not the same.
And so now coming to the healing prayer circle, can I ask you about prayer? Like, do you remember praying as a child, or do you pray now, or how has prayer helped you in your life? I guess
I would say I've prayed my entire life. I'm the only one in my family. We did not go to church, and as a child,
Okay. Okay. I let that run long because I have not seen that before. And I'm looking to see if there is any indication that they're going to predict the world of 2020, 2021, 2022 with what is to come. And I was waiting for it because she's kind of going there. And I did not know Kelley Eckhardt would be on this, Eckhart would be on this in here at all. This is all new to me. I've not seen this before. So I find this very interesting as they have this conversation. So you probably have some comments. Please leave them and I will happily answer your questions as best as I can. But I know as much as you know about this. But we have done one video. Janice Boynton, a dear friend of mine who's an expert on facilitated communication, her and I we went and watched Kelley Eckhardt do readings, and we spent 5 hours together. I'm looking at the video. I'm not looking at the video right now, but we sat together, her and I, for 5 hours and analyzed a series of Kelley's readings, because I don't like cutting things up too much to prove a point. I know that you out there may not have an attention span that can really sit and listen to this in depth. Somebody's got to listen to it. I'm doing it. And if this is not your thing, then, where we really think about things and talk about it, this might not be the channel for you. Because, there's some videos I have out there that are very short, under a minute, under 5 minutes, under 14 minutes. But I want to give the benefit of the doubt to these people who say that they're able to do these things that they say that they can do. And by cutting them off and making them look really bad by clipping things, I don't think that's doing it's not helping. It's disingenuous, and I want to be able to hear their whole sentence and so on. So let's just think about what this says. Kelley sounds like somebody who truly believes that she has paranormal powers and that she can contact the dead. She seems like she has been in a lifestyle where not that it was encouraged, because apparently she said she tried to tell her mom that she knew where people who were missing were at, and their family got really upset at her. And so that was probably you know, put to the side. Now, she remembers her past lives. That would be really fascinating if we had really had past lives. There's no evidence for this, obviously, and she is just saying that she remembers it. But then again, anybody can say anything, but I just don't think she's lying. I think she really believes it. And this isn't mental illness or anything like that, at least not anything I've ever heard of. She may have a personality that is, and I'm saying this, I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but I've heard of people who have personalities that are fantasy prone. And maybe they make really great writers and artists. I don't know. But I don't know if I have that kind of personality where I can visualize things and they feel real. I know that when you have memories and you validate those memories, you repeat it over and over, you tell it to people and people say, oh yeah, that happened to you or whatever, then it implants in your mind and it feels like it is absolutely real, which is why mediumship is such a bugaboo of mine. Because when a medium says, I'm hearing from your mom, she's telling me this story, then what happens is that implants that new memory in your mind, and now you have a new perception of your mother, which may not be accurate, and it rewrites your actual memory, because that's how memory is. It's malleable. It can change, and it could become very real to you. So she probably does remember these things. There's no way of knowing if it's true or not. She says she remembers that she was in a fire in one of her past lives, doesn't remember much about it. And then when Cheryl asks her if she's afraid of fire, she says, oh yeah. It's like, yeah, well, you're a human. Yeah, you should be kind of afraid of fire. And she says when she was 2, almost 3, she remembers kicking her lamp in her bedroom, and it fell on the bed and it started a fire, and angels had to carry her out. Okay, so I have a hard time believing that she can remember at 2.5 or almost 3. I mean, it's possible, clearly, that she did this. There might have been a fire in her room and somebody told her that and reminded her of this. And so, yeah, that memory, oh yeah, don't you remember when you were 2, there was a fire in your room, this happened, blah, 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 a loose wire or something. And it became that she kicked the fire, the lamp, and that caused a fire. And I find that very hard to believe that there would be a lamp in somebody's 2-year-old's room that could be knocked over in such a way that it would light it on fire, and in such a way that it would engulf, she may sound like it was a big fire. It's possible. I don't know. That sounds like something somebody has told her, and now she remembers it like it's real. And then she says that her father fell asleep when she was 5 years old with a cigarette, and it lit the couch or the bed on fire. And she, Kelley, had to send a message telepathically to her mother at the age of 5 to come from work at night to come and rescue them. And mom showed up. And this is her memory. Again, I find that very hard to believe. I don't know why, but okay. So, all right. Again, I think these are memories that may have been partly true, and for whatever reason, Kelley has now decided these are real memories. There might be some truth to that. The other thing is that she said she was a medium before her son died at the age of 20. And I've seen this with other people who are mediums in the same level as she is, not famous on TV kind of psychics, but like, just doing readings and getting 100 people or so liking your videos or watching your videos. And these are people who do believe they're helping. she might help people. I don't know. People need people to talk to, and possibly she feels like she's helping people. It's not for me to decide if that is real help or if it is just enabling. I believe that you should get licensed therapy for grief, or at least talk to somebody who is a peer, or somebody, if you're religious, or somebody else who's a peer, not a medium. Because when you have a medium who's trying to tell you these things, then you have a false balance as far as on your level. If you're talking to your aunt and or your best friend or even a religious leader, at least you're on some kind of even keel with them. But to be a person who has going through grief, and then this psychic medium who's communicating with dead people, who's got to be way up here somewhere, then when the psychic medium tells you something, then you have more authority. You feel like you have more authority. They have more authority than a peer or so on. I think you should be talking to someone who has a license or a training, or at least somebody who isn't going to have that. It's somebody who's has this gift from God that is, a medium speaking to dead people. My gosh. I'm really thirsty today. Sorry. I guess because I was out in the yard for so long. She probably does feel like her son is still with her. She probably talks to him all the time, and she feels like she's getting communications with him, and that's just fine. She feels like that's normal. My partner is like, I don't even look at the date. Yeah, it's August 2nd. So in 2 days, it'll be the first anniversary of his death. And I've been trying to wear myself out and tire myself out because I just don't want to be looking and reliving it. Even though it's been a year and it's too fresh. It feels very fresh. So I get it. I talk to him. I keep myself busy. And I do these videos, and maybe only a few people are watching them, but I still feel like I'm doing what is important to be doing. So far, nobody has said anything about COVID. Let's get to some readings because this is going to get old really quick. So let's see what we got. I'm going to fast forward a little bit because she's going to start talking about prayers. She shares her website. More Kelley, more Kelley, more Kelley, more Kelley. Let me see if I can see where they do a reading with somebody. Sorry, you guys, I just don't feel like editing this. It's Kelley again, Kelley again, Kelley again. Do they ever do readings for somebody? I don't see anybody brought on screen if they do. Maybe they're not. I thought they were going to do reading. No, she did. She said she was going to do readings. Let's try it. Let me stop.
Greatest job she's ever had with the greatest pay, right? Working with wonderful people for wonderful pay in a wonderful way. Did you guys know that? That's a nice prayer.
What's a prayer? Gosh, we're 21 minutes in and she's still doing prayers, but she did interview at least a little bit with Kelley. Okay, so well, they're busy healing. Maybe there won't be anybody on here. Let's see.
An awareness. That's wonderful. I'm going to unmute Kelley Eckhardt again, psychic medium Kelley Eckhardt. What I love about her is we're going to answer some questions tonight. So if you have a question you'd like answered, you can type it in the chat box.
Okay, so they're not bringing anybody on screen. They're going to be doing questions in the chat box.
We'll try to get to a couple tonight. I have a couple set aside, but we'll certainly try to see if you need help with healing or love, a relationship, or perhaps you are moving and you need help deciding on something. Maybe you're just asking for confirmation or validation. But Kelley, I did set aside 2 questions that I'd like you to help do a reading for these people.
Okay.
That be okay?
That's great.
That's cool. Okay. The first one is from Rebecca, and Rebecca has been having challenges with a house, and Rebecca would like to know if she can because her husband passed, and she'd like to know if she can keep the house in her name. Can she afford a home? Whether she wants to move, she hasn't really determined, but I think what she's asking is, our finances going to work out for her? Because I know she's, just probably in grief right now, but she would really appreciate any advice we could help her about. Will she be able to make it with a house in her name? Will she be able to keep the house? Anything like that, because it's just been hard. And another thing is, it's been hard for her to communicate with her loved one that passed away, and maybe you can also help everyone on the call, like how can we connect with the other side, or our loved ones, when we're not feeling it, when we don't,
Yeah.
or how to recognize it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tap into Rebecca right now. And I'm so sorry for your loss, Rebecca. I can't imagine losing my husband, so I'm very sorry for that. And as I tune in about the house, I do feel there is a struggle about keeping it. And I also feel, as I tune into this, that it is possible to keep this house. I just think that it's not the way you think. I do think that you need to make some changes or think outside the box. But I also feel that there's a possibility that maybe it's easier for you to let the house go. I feel like you're torn and it's more sentimental, but that might be best for you to look at what's best for you, not necessarily trying to make this house stay where, because it's the house where you loved your husband and I'm assuming your family. Can you?
Yeah, I mean, I can totally relate to that, because I was feeling about her downsizing. So I was kind of right there with you, Kelley, when I was tuning in earlier. I was like, I'm feeling like she's going to go that direction. But then after she downsizes, it's going to be like all of this joy starts all over again. It's like, it's almost like that weight. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like that she's holding onto the house. She wants to hold onto the house for the wrong reasons, I feel. And I think that there's a better way for her, and that it will take a lot of the stress off of her with the finances.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're hoping that helped you. We do have a question on the.
All right. Now we're getting into the area of harm. So this is a financial question that this woman, who is in grief, currently in grief herself, is asking a financial question to Cheryl and Kelley by default. And this is really where we're getting into it. And this is not okay. Absolutely not okay. After somebody has died, you wait a year before you make any serious decisions, financial or moving or even relationships. Wait at least a year. You are still so vulnerable and so just not necessarily making great decisions about things. It's a little different if the person that had died had been dying for a long time and you already had come to terms with it to some extent. It wasn't like a sudden death out of the blue. And then that's a different kind of grief. But somebody who, like in my case of my partner, who was dying for a long time, and his cancer progressively got worse, we were coming to terms with it for a long time. We just didn't know when it would be. And of course, yeah, it's not wonderful, but I felt like I could have made financial decisions soonish, because that was something that had already been thought about and talked about for a long time beforehand. But in this case, this is a woman who should be asking the question of a peer. or a financial person or one of her children or her sibling, not a psychic medium, because these psychic mediums are not answering the questions, that are not asking or handling the questions as they should be. Like, is there life insurance? Do you have any savings? Do you have your own credit history? I mean, is there a retirement fund? Do you have somebody you could rely on? Is the house too big for you to manage on your own? Like, are you in your, not like me crawling around weeding and repainting the house on your own? Do you have physical issues that keeps you from being able to maintain a house that may be in a state that is in need of a lot of help? In other words, like if the house is really in bad shape, and you don't have the health to be able to keep it up to date, keep it going and the money, then maybe it's best for you to leave. But that's a question you're having with somebody who has some knowledge of the situation, not these hoo-has. I mean, they're just making up crap. I mean, this is ridiculous. Can she keep it in her own name? Why not? It was your husband. If you were legally married to him and the house, were you not on the title before with your husband, and it's now he's died, so yeah. Is it an area, do you have a house that has got like multiple floors, and you have a hard time being able to get up and down floors? Is there a large yard that's going to have a lot of gardening that's going to need to be done, lots of mowing? Does he have like this huge shop and you're never going to touch any of those tools out there? And maybe there's a pool that's just constantly needing maintaining. Do you live far away from your family and your friends and your loved ones and grandchildren? Are you all in the same? I mean, there's so many questions that would give good advice to this person who has this question. What is the real estate market in your area? Would you be able to sell it and make any money? How long have you had it? Is there equity in it? How likely are you to be able to buy something else? I mean, my goodness, don't ask questions like this from people who don't have a clue. They don't know. They don't know. This is financial advice that they should not be giving. This is unethical. I mean, they didn't really say anything except that change is going to have to happen. And well, I don't know, that maybe it's going to be different, possibly. Just no, don't ask these kind of questions of people. Goodness gracious. Okay, there's one more question. And they say they don't give financial advice. No. They should say, tell her to talk to a real estate agent and her financial advisor. And does she have any peers or family or anybody like that she can talk to? Because you shouldn't be talking to your psychic medium about that. That's what the psychic medium should say. No, I don't have anything for you. I don't give financial advice. Oh my gosh.
Chat. So I do want to ask, oh, another part of that question was, if we can't connect with our loved ones, like if we're having a problem connecting or we don't feel them around, can you offer a suggestion? I mean, I know prayer is one, but can you offer like what help?
One of the things I tell people,
okay, I'm going to just fast forward through this because I don't want to hear about that part. Let's see if we get to the second question.
Posting your contact info while you're talking. So I'm just letting attention that you're talking about, you know. I'm just saying, Kelley, there's something there. Okay. Okay. Guys, I posted Kelley's information in the chat box, but Kelley, can you tell us just a little bit more about what you do? I know you have classes. I know you doing a couple more readings, Kelley. Thank you. I want to do one in the chat box. Angela, you can see it too, Kelley. Angela wrote, thank you so much for offering this, Cheryl and Kelley. I haven't been feeling like myself the past couple of weeks, just very sleepy and foggy headed. I am a new mom, congratulations, with a sweet baby boy who is 9 months old and also got married last month to the man I've been with for a long time. big changes and positive ones. So I'm not quite sure why I've been feeling this way or what the next step is. Any insight on this and how to move through it and forward, seeking your healing and insight on this. Thank you.
Well, I know Angela.
Oh, you know Angela.
Yes, she's an amazing healer friend of mine, and
Ah,
I let her use my office space for healing.
I love it.
So maybe you should do that one.
I will do this one. So Angela, let me work with you then, and I'm going to work with the energy of Angela. And I'm just feeling, Angela, that you're in a transition naturally because you just have a beautiful, beautiful baby and you're married. But it feels like your energy is being heightened in some way, if I may say. So it's kind of being stepped up. So I really want to say you've been moving forward in your intuition or your intuitive development. If that's true, you can type in the chat box, like, have you been taking a class recently? Or because I'm feeling you're like graduating or moving up the ladder, so to speak. Your frequency is raising. So you're kind of in that in-between phase, which does happen a lot of times when we do feel a little foggy. I guess that's a good word for it. We're kind of in a transition. I also feel opportunity coming your way. So I feel that, and I felt two opportunities. One's from the right and one's from the left. So they're different opportunities, but there's two more either ventures, whether they're business opportunities coming your way. Let me just feel what the travel is. Let me see if you chimed in at all. I don't think you have. Oh, thank you, Kelley. Yeah, definitely the ascension thing. I think it's all about the ascension thing, and it's the realignment, it's the recalibration. It's kind of being accelerated. So let's just, I think it's a good thing. And what you need to do in the meantime is, self-care. Like we need to hold the light for ourselves. We need to, be in prayer for ourselves and just hold the light, knowing that whatever is happening, that you're still being guided and looked out for. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Angela.
Can I just tune in on that real quick? I also 100% agree with everything Cheryl said for Angela. And knowing Angela, I didn't want to just go there and say that. But also, I've always said since the day I met her, her name says who she is. She's an angel.
Oh.
And she is quite amazing. And I think giving birth has really opened her up more intuitively than she's ever been opened up. And she is moving up to this new level, just in life in general, because she got married, had the child. It's like she's taking on this whole new role in life. And I just think it's just part of her journey. And like you said, self-care is really important for her.
They always say some of the most beautiful energy is a mother and their child. It's such a high frequency that you're getting used to it, and especially with a baby as young and you just having that experience. I'm sure you're still in that amazement of that divine energy, really, right? Of creative energy, really. You must be creating left and right now. As far as when you get started to do that again, you really will be creating. But I agree, Kelley, having kids probably does change you. I think it does open you up. It connects you to being more empathetic, more feelings, more, all of the above. So thank you for that. Thank you, Kelley. That was great. So let me just do this next question, just because I think it could apply to a lot of people, and maybe Angela could take something from it, but I have this written.
Having children changes you. You're kidding. So it is February 2020, and a woman chats in the chat box that she's feeling fuzzy, or what was it she said, low, or what was it she said? She's not feeling herself. She's not got a lot of energy. She's feeling a little something. I wonder, no mention of COVID, of course, because if you're not feeling great and it's 2020, well, we know what's about to happen if it hasn't happened already. And this is somebody in California, so we know COVID was in California in 2020, in early 2020. Also, this woman has a brand new baby. Could it be that she's not getting a lot of sleep and her hormones and are doing things to her body, and the stress of having a child, a brand new baby, and just getting married, even though it's a man she's been with for a long time, that's going to run you down. So they're saying, oh, well, it's you're in transition. Yeah, your body, you're still producing breast milk for the baby. You are probably, and your body is doing, you just pushed out a human being. You created a human being inside your body and got it out. Cesarean section or vaginal birth. That's going to do a lot for you. All right, that's going to change you, and there's a lot of things that happen to you physically for a long time. And then here's Cheryl. Well, I'm seeing opportunities coming your way. Something from the right and something from the left, maybe a business, something about travel. No, let me look into that. Self-care. What the? Cheryl's notorious for always telling people to drink lots of water. And I'm drinking, yeah, I should be drinking more water. Thank you, Cheryl. I feel a lot better. What kind of advice was it that she gave to this woman? That's not even peer to peer at all. That's not even medium to, no, it's awful. Take good care of yourself. So, what's missing here? What is it we need to watch out for when a mother has just given birth to a child? What is, if only there was some kind of thing that is something we need to keep a really good eye on possibly happening. What is, it starts with a D. It's a long word. I think it's like three syllables. What could that be? Yeah, depression. Yeah. Postpartum depression. Yeah, I hear that's a thing. So now this woman, Angela, who's an angel, by the way, because her name is Angel. So Angela, who is a healer, is having some problems feeling not herself, even though she's gone through this huge, amazing life change, giving birth to a baby, getting married, and it's the pandemic. It's about to start. I wonder, so again, don't lick the microphone, kitten. So again, it's not about what they say always, it's about what's missing and the harm that happens from this cat. So the harm that happens when people don't, they think they're getting advice from somebody, and it's not good advice, but she may take this advice. Will she get her vaccinations when it's finally available? Who knows? She may just ask them. Come on. Okay. One more. Because this one, Cheryl says, might help a lot of people, including you guys out there who are watching this. Imogen's watching. Are you paying attention, Speedy? How about you, Edgar? Edgar's paying close attention. Okay, one more. Let's see. Oh my goodness. So we've done health, we've done financial. What could possibly be next? Love, travel.
Down. Her name is Dell or Della. I should call her Della Marie. She asks, what are the next steps to take regarding her current work? There's so much confusion for her, and there's so many factors. So she doesn't list them all out, but she says there's a lot of What should she do regarding her current work? She is in service to others, which she loves. However, I feel tired and overwhelmed. And, it's that same feeling, right, Kelley, about, so what do you think about Della Marie? Like, what should she do regarding her current work?
I believe that the environment she is isn't the best environment for her. I believe that she could be of service to others in a different environment, in a different way. I also think that she needs to work on her boundaries. I think that she gives too much and isn't always taking care of her. And because of that, she's neglecting her own energy and her own self. She's depleting herself of her energy, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that she does have a lot of options. I think that she has a lot of options of different ways she could give back, or different types of employment, because she is a very intelligent lady, and I feel like she's not thinking outside the box. She's afraid to make that change or that shift. So I just think she needs to trust and follow her own inner guidance, but she's been fighting it, I feel. What do you feel?
Thank you. I agree. I feel like I feel like Della Marie, you're very strong on the outside, but the interior, is the tired part, right? That's the part that Kelley and I want to ask you to understand, that your intuition is smarter than you think. I mean, your intuition is definitely your guide. It's that gut instinct where we do so much for others that we don't do enough for us. Kelley's right about setting boundaries. I really feel like in some way, Della Marie, you have to start practicing the power of no. And we can do it with compassion and love and all of that and grace. But the power of no to other people who are asking too much, because you could be one of these people that don't say no, and we want to get you. That's what I'm just feeling, right, Kelley?
Yes, I feel
that's the boundary thing, is no, not today. And we can always say it in a great way. So no worries. So guys, I know we're going to wrap up here, but Kelley, let me just ask you, where are you going to be next? Or
Yeah, Kelley, where are you going to be next? Wait, let's see if she says. Let me go back and see if she says, well, we're going to be in a lockdown. Watch, let's see. This is February 2020. Let's see what Kelley has to say. Is she going to say, I'm going to be locked down like everybody else?
what can you, what do you feel for 2020? Where are you going to be? What do we do? Yeah.
For 2020, I feel great about 2020, and it's like the first time in a long time that I felt very optimistic about things that are happening for everybody. I just feel like we've had a rough 3 or 4 years in our like, just in general in our society, and I think this is a good year for everybody, financially, emotionally. I just think a lot of people have been going through a lot of shifts over the last 3 or 4 years, and it's like this new almost energy, I feel.
Yeah, it's kind of that new turn, or that just, we just turned the corner here, so to speak.
Yeah,
and we're all on this new path.
Yeah.
Well, Kelley, thank you so much for being with us on the Healing.
Oh my God, that was worth it. I'm going to clip that little puppy out of what to expect in 2020. They feel good about everything. We're turning the corner financially. Everything's going to be great. I feel so much new energy. I can't believe she's got this video still up on her channel. I want to pull this puppy off in a heartbeat. I can't believe it. So I'm glad I watched this. I'm glad you guys and Imogen and Edgar hung out with me and watched this, because she just said where she's going to be in 2020, how amazing 2020 is going to be. We've had a lot, the last few years have been really rough, and 2020 is going to be so good. And again, this person, Della Marie, writes in her current work. She's feeling tired and overwhelmed, and she's in a service job. She helps other people. She works with other people. So I don't know what that is, but I thought of health field. This woman is in the health field. Della Marie is probably in the health field. What do you think is going to happen to her in about 2 more months? The world is going to explode. Absolutely explode, especially for people in the health field. What in the world is going to happen to these people? Oh, Kitten, don't go over there. No, don't go there. Oh, don't go there. I should have seen that coming. Cheryl, why didn't you tell me? Here. So, no. So, did they predict? Did they warn us? Did they do any of that? Oh, they did. I'm clipping that puppy, and that's going to go as a short. So, anyway, Imogen, Edgar, and I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Please leave all your comments down here. That was fascinating. I hadn't seen any of that before, so I didn't know where to clip it or anything like that. I'm just going to load this video up. And I hope you guys all enjoy it. Leave me your comments. I'm gonna do something with this cat. I mean, like I said, she likes to have her head pet. That's it. But if you touch the bottom part of her or anything like that, she gets all upset because it hurts. She's got arthritis and she gets an injection and she's better for about 3 weeks. You know, you can pet her then, but she just wants to be here all the time, but yet you can't really touch her. Does somebody have some advice for me out there? Aw, I just love my kitty. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it so much. I've got Wikipedia editing to do next, so stay tuned. Bye all.